Hey, what's up, Toby? We made another week.
Nice. Hey, man.
I know. Let's process that. We're gonna jump right in.
Let's do it.
Today's topic is comes from operations and manufacturing,
Yeah.
and it's specific around the Six Sigma, or the sigmas, or the number of failures within a million records. Which Six Sigma is what, three parts per million,
Is that
three defects.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, it feels like all we ever talk about, if we talk about sigmas in the workplace, we tolerate nothing less than six. That's all
Yeah,
we talk about. And I think part of it is we refer to that kind of work around error reduction as Six Sigma work or lean work.
yeah,
Y- Yeah. So it's 3 parts per million. I think when
correct.
we talk about manufacturing, that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
If we're rolling tires or ball bearings off the line, we don't want to be digging through those.
yep,
I get that,
yep.
but gosh, three errors per million
Yeah.
transactions.
So, all right. So what one sigma? So one sigma is 30.9%
All right.
accurate. So that's 690,000 defects per million. So that's terrible. That is a 30% success rate, which is on par with probably most of the PowerPoints we've seen.
Yeah. So 31% defect rate, which means only 61% of them are defect free.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
No, yeah, no, it's backwards. So like among a million,
Okay.
there's only going to be 310,000 that are free of defect. That's one sigma,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
So that's, so your good output, another way to say that, your good output on one sigma is 30.9%. Okay.
That's brutal.
Yeah. But I mean, again, for knowledge work, PowerPoints that I've seen,
It's a good example though, right?
I mean, yeah, like how many defects does a PowerPoint have?
And that's a really good rule. What are the consequences of a spelling error in a PowerPoint? Or what are the consequences? It could be an issue if it's an extra zero and you're talking
Yeah.
about cost reduction or sales targets. Folks get antsy. If it's an indent, if it's a font error,
Yeah. Yeah.
things are the same, right?
I would say that many defects are hidden by polished PowerPoints. Like, what would McKinsey be without a polished PowerPoint?
That's a frightening thought.
Yeah. All right.
It's
Okay.
all
So one of the things about manufacturing is that to move up a sigma, it takes about the same effort, right? So
okay.
from going from one sigma to two sigma is basically going from 30.9% good to 69.1% good. So just moving it up, just one standard deviation, basically.
Yeah.
Which means that, still 70%. This is probably I would say that this is probably most knowledge work.
Yeah. If we think about that in the broadest sense, everything from communication to assorted manual tasks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything where a system's not guiding our action.
Yep.
Yeah. That feels
So,
pretty
right.
pretty reasonable.
Yeah. So if you think about one sigma, it's basically the process fails most of the time, or it's highly inconsistent,
Yeah.
right? Your PowerPoint presentation template changes multiple times a quarter, right? Like seconds, two sigma, or, it's 69% good output.
Yeah.
Still very poor, but errors occur frequently. Okay. Now let's move that just up one level, right? So to three sigma, it jumps from close to 70% good to 93.3% good.
Arts change and mark
Yeah.
change. Yeah.
It's literally like
Geometric,
like
at this point.
up to three. up to 3 sigma, it's kind of almost like a hockey stick, right? So again, it's, from 1 sigma to 2 sigma, it's 39% better.
Mm.
From 2 sigma to 3 sigma, it is 23% better. And then the next jump from 4 sigma to 5 sigma, it's 93% to 99.38%. It's literally 7%. And then to 5 sigma, it jumps basically percentages like 0.4%. And these are literally the same amount of effort
Right.
in manufacturing. And yet I don't think when we think of business processes and knowledge work, we
Yeah.
don't actually think about it as changing the process to improve the output.
But it's about the consistency too.
Yes.
Right. And so when we do highly variable tasks, it's hard to get a sense of our actual consistency.
Correct.
So did I deliver it on time is not really a sigma-ish
Yep.
kind of outcome because it depends on the task.
Yep.
So
For sure.
I think that's, as we're talking about this, I'm thinking about and we've talked a lot about this, having done a lot of process improvement work
Yeah.
over the years. Sometimes it's process improvement at one desk, or
Yep.
sometimes it's an entire team. But
Yep.
It feels like so often everybody as the organization gets larger, the work niches down and people
Yep.
become increasingly specialized.
Yeah.
And so to be able to have, to your point, the difference of shifting from high level of defects at 1 sigma to a marked reduction at 2 sigma, in a large organization, you have to touch a lot of people.
Yeah.
And even as we're talking about this, it makes me think, this is why we start to see formal payroll systems being implemented or financial systems being upgraded and driving a lot of consistent behaviors just
For
to
sure.
reduce variability.
Yep.
But
Oh, no, totally true. And what's interesting is I think oftentimes in knowledge work, we don't think of it as a process of delivery. We think of it as a task that we need to go. We think of it more of like doing the dishes or something. I don't even know that was a terrible example. But we think of it as like, oh, my boss wants me to do the thing.
right.
And we don't think of it, we've talked about this quite a bit where if the thing is repeatable, turn it into a process.
Totally. Yeah.
But it's funny. I've been watching the World Series and I'm going to deviate here from our topic here for a little bit, but Google Cloud has this commercial on baseball players that hit the base with their bat and how that leads to hard hits or something like that. And in my mind, I'm like, that's novel. I appreciate that. And it is absolutely, there's no action that you can take. And I find it fascinating that a lot of knowledge work comes down to novelty, which means that you can basically hide all your defects in the corner, because as long as it's novel and it follows some sort of, the cognitive bias of the person with the highest salary in the room, then it's okay.
Right. Yeah. Processes don't have personalities to soften the message or build relationships the same way that people do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just think sometimes we just don't think about it as something that even can be fixed.
Yeah. Well,
And so, and sometimes it's the person that needs to fix it is the manager. And if you're an IC, then it's not yours to fix.
well, Chris, it kind of makes me ask the question, is it even reasonable to talk about professional interactions in this same concept of error-free transactions? Manufacturing is a highly repeatable, super linear process generally. And if
Yeah.
it's not super linear, then we invest a lot of time
Yeah.
understanding all the permutations that it could go down.
Yeah. I think this is where it falls into like, do your systems support or do they complicate?
Mm,
And like, does your system like, because I would say that there are some times in which a 1 sigma rate is okay.
yeah.
And I would say that there are other times where, it needs to be in the highly accurate, highly consistent outcome, right? And I think that sometimes those two get flopped, right? And I think some of it is about the novelty. Like, and I trash on data a lot, not because I don't like data, but because data seems to be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
And so I do think that when it comes to consistent things that we do, we should aim to make them better
Yeah.
and not aim to make them more novel.
Mm. It's interesting. So novelty is a source of defects. And so that also makes me think of the failure rate that we have around innovation. And
Yeah.
that's unfortunately become kind of this catch-all buzzword for
Yeah.
I have a new approach that I'm testing to I'm just sloppy and I'm wildly inconsistent. So I'm
Yeah.
innovating, you know. Um,
Well, it is interesting
right.
because like your upstream and your downstream has to all match, right? In a manufacturing, because you've got work in progress, you've got stuff moving through the line.
Totally.
Knowledge work oftentimes ends up being one person doing one thing,
Yeah.
right? And the transferability of that knowledge isn't necessarily taken into consideration.
Yeah.
And
I
so
think
I saw a funny meme on, someone doing math of 16 minus 9 as a McKinsey consultant. And they're like, oh, you can obviously just see that this is a sum of squares. And so if you turn that into 3 squared and 4 squared, and then you multiply it all out and they go, they do 4 or 5 steps and they get to 16 minus 9. And you're like, still 7. It's
and
still,
there we are.
and we made it to 7.
No, it's true. Well, and the transfer of moving pieces and parts versus moving information,
Mhm.
it's easier to know if all the pieces have been moved from point A to point B,
Yeah.
whereas it's hard to know if all the information has been translated from person A to person B.
We are terrible at that as human beings.
It's hard to know, isn't it?
Because you don't check, because we assume that everybody thinks the exact same way that we do, or doesn't action the same way. Like if you ever demo anything, like in a scrum, you will be like, what in the world
Yes.
is that person doing? Don't they see the button to the left? And then you're like, oh, that was a semi clever way of doing it that I would have never thought of or figured it out.
Chris, I think that's so true. Shadowing somebody to watch how they navigate a familiar application
Or
is fascinating and painful
yeah,
because you're right.
I
We can't
built
navigate the same way.
yeah, I built a UI. I was really happy to build some stuff in there that stuff just never got used because it just was unusable.
Yeah.
Like for me, not doing the day-to-day work, like I was what I thought would work.
Yeah.
But that ended up being, kind of one of these knowledge deviations because I didn't I didn't know the work that was being done. And so I didn't built it in the right way.
Yeah.
And the reality is it's like, what's funny, like the other funny thing is oftentimes it's like, it's not in the outcome in which it's like we become fascinated with being distraction. I kind of stopped there a little bit, but like we're fascinated with the distraction and not the actual process or outcome. And so it's like, hey, if did we sell the deal? Yeah, we did. Let's go celebrate. Did we sell the right deal? Did we sell it to the right client? Does it align with what where we're going?
Yeah.
Like those are all really important. And I think, that's one of the deviation of saying yes to everything is a bad one.
Oh. Well, Chris, I think as we're talking this through, the piece that I take away is that being nervous when somebody comes to Six Sigma, your professional services approach, your
Yep.
college work.
Yep.
And the piece you just touched on really resonates with me. And it's that we have to step back and ask the bigger picture question,
There.
because sometimes a highly defective exchange can still
Yep.
move the mission forward, that can still achieve our outcomes, even if the PowerPoint is error ridden and has, all kinds of font mismatches.
Yep.
So
The other funny thing is you probably hear snoring in the back. That's my bulldog. Just crashed out. Not helpful for a podcast, but having a grand old time. Just snoring away.
I thought that was your stomach. I thought maybe so better that it's a bulldog, sir.
That's awesome. Well, we made it again, man.
All right. Good stuff.
All right. Catch you
Thanks
next
for
week.
leveling.
All right.
See ya.
Yeah.